Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Art Whisper 88. On your screen is some Strathmore Bristol. It's a very smooth paper, and this is a pad of 24 sheets, and it is 11 by 17. So I am going to use the 11 by 17 with my smaller plate, which is this is a 10, this is an 8 by 10 gel plate. And I have here the placement tool that the folks at Gelli Arts have generously donated to me. So I'm going to use this placement tool today, and I will show you how to center your paper. So since this is 11 by 17, what I do is I kind of eyeball it and make sure that these measurements on the left and right are the same. And this is 1.5 inches. This is 1.5 inches. And then I go like this. And then the distance between this edge and this edge is 3.25. It's almost 3.5. This is 3.5, so it's equal. So it will go like this, and the image will be centered. Now, this takes a little bit of practice, and don't be disappointed when your first image is a little off. It's not that easy to center an image. If you are as particular as I am, I really take meticulous measurements first. And you only have to do it once. And once you get your measurements right, you can just keep printing and the image will always be centered. Okay? So now that we have that out of the way, I'm going to start by working on this 8 by 10. So don't go away. Okay, I'm going to start with a lighter color. This is Cadmium Yellow Light by Soho. Now, I do not have a preconceived plan. I'm just going to lay down some strips of color. So that's the yellow. And then I have here Cadmium Red by Lucas. Then I have some contrast in manganese blue. So this will be quite a colorful print. I think I put too much paint. Well, I will just spread what I can. And then the excess I will put in a plastic tub to be used later. This happens sometimes when the tube seems to be clogged up, and then I squeeze hard and then too much paint comes out. Okay, there we go. So this is a very painterly approach, and I'm not even using a brayer. Okay. So as not to waste the paint, I'm just placing it in a separate container. Let me just clean out the edges. Okay, since this is a much smaller scale, I don't need to leave the paper on as long as 5 minutes. So I'm actually going to lift and see the result. It's very interesting. So it's a very painterly result. Now I will see if I can capture this ghost print. I'm going to use this Lucas Dune. And this is a little dried out. We do this instead. See, when it sits in the bottle for a while, the contents can get dry and thicken too much, and it's a problem to get the paint out. So let's see if I can just roll this out. See, the paint is really thick. Okay, now since I'm trying to capture the ghost print, I will let this stay on the plate a little bit longer. Give the paper a chance to absorb the paint. Okay. Okay, it's been I'd say 3-4 minutes. Oh, I like this. Very, very cool. No, that's a nice looking ghost print. And the edges are very even. So this is an example of when you do your registration properly. This right side and left side are even. The same with the top and the bottom. So it looks more professional. Okay. Now I'm going to keep going because there's still some good stuff left. This is raw sienna. And some more cadmium red. And I will introduce some black. Now the difference of working with Bristol paper, it is extremely smooth, and sometimes it is a little tricky when I do this because the paper will tend to slide. That doesn't happen with the more textured papers, so I just have to be careful not to push too hard. Okay, let me let this sit for about 3-4 minutes. Let's see how we made out. Pretty wild. Very interesting. Look at all the little details. It's a very mysterious image. Okay. Oh, let me use the leftover. Let's see how that works out. Okay, I will do an experiment and leave this on much longer. I'd say like 5 minutes. And see if I can pick up every little piece of paint that's left. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. Pretty cool. Okay, I will air dry all of these and then figure out what the next step is. In the meantime, I have assembled some more viewer photos of their artwork. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, everybody, here's the next step. Now this is my reusable stencil. These are plastic folder dividers, and I have traced out some shapes with my Sharpie pen. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them out. With my razor blade. So I get a negative shape and a positive shape. And so I save these. Now this can get a little tedious because it's detail oriented, but it's worth it in the long run because I can use these stencils over and over again. Now, if I had used a pair of scissors, it would be very difficult because of these very sharp curves. So I'm using the razor blade instead. Okay. So now I have two sets. One, you can call this a stencil and you can call these masks. Okay. So I will start with a stencil. And just lay it on the plate like so. Sometimes it's difficult to get it to lay flat because of all the cutouts. There. There we go. So, I will use this I'm going to mix a clear gel medium with this dune. Hopefully it will become more transparent. Let me find a plastic container. So that is clear gel medium. And I will mix it with this probably don't need very much because this is a very small plate. Just make sure there are no bubbles. So I'm just going to brush it on like that. Okay. And then I will use my baby roller, my baby brayer, just to even things out. Get rid of the high spots. Okay, then as a final touch, I will add some marks. Okay. I will start with this very dark piece. Okay, let's see what we have here. Very cool. Check this out. Okay. Now I'll try to pick this up with this one. Like that. Now I'm going to try something. I'm going to push the envelope. I'm going to clean this up and put a third layer. Now, since this is a small plate, cleaning is so much easier. It just takes a few seconds. So this time I will use my little masks. This time I will use cadmium red. kind of fun using these little shapes because they're so easy to shuffle around, kind of like a puzzle. Again, here is the dark piece with the white shapes. Pretty cool. Now there are little ragged edges, but that's all right. Let me see if I can make use of this. And this is the blue one. Now I'm pressing really hard because this is like a second try. I like this. There's a lot more texture involved. Now this is not straight, but I'll see how this works out. It's at an angle, it's a slight angle. I will use some acrylic black. And again, I will use my baby brayer. using the heel of the brayer to make some textures. So here's the first pull. I like this a lot. Here, check this out. Check out the texture on this. It's like a lithograph. All right, I will air dry all 4 of these, and then I will recap. And in the meantime, I will show you some more viewer submissions. So enjoy. Okay, everybody, here's to recap. This is the final leg of this journey. Now, this is the first pull, and this was done with a color shaper. There is no brayer involved here. And here's a close-up. The colors are very vibrant. And the application is pretty heavy because I wanted to leave a ghost print. So that's the first one. Here's the second pull. Now this one I particularly like because it has, I think it has 3 or 4 layers. I lost count. But it has a very complex image. I think this one's my favorite of all of them. Okay, that is the second one. Here's a third. Again, it has a very complex mix of colors and textures. But this is characteristic of a monoprint. You get these very unique kind of texture that is difficult to produce with a brush. Here here's the third one. This one I like a lot also. So close up. I like the contrast of the black against the lighter colors. So I hope you liked this video. This was a lot of fun to do. I want to prove that just because an image is small doesn't mean it can't be complex and interesting to look at. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Here are some more wonderful submissions on my open call. Enjoy, and I hope to see you next time.